And here we go, as our first crew of the day is pushing off the dock. And they're going to have to do the slow walk around. Not sure what they were thinking on this one, as they pushed off. I guess just the boat came in behind them was too close, and they had to push it over. But welcome back, guys, to the greatest show on earth, and that is the Miami Boat Ramps channel. I'm your host, Broncos Guru, and today we are down here visiting 79th Street as Cap tries to get this one turned. And our girl's going to step back into the boat. And there we go. They should be able to get out from here. But it is a busy day down here, especially ahead of what's going to be a very, very cold weekend upcoming. And our crew looks solid and going to work their way out. So our next crew comes in on approach. And it looks like he's going to miss. He's going to turn it, but it's going to kick the bow out as he's trying to get the stern over. And the crew's going to try and push him off the corner of the dock so we don't scuff the paint job on this one. And Cap is all over the place with the engines now as they try and push off. And he's going to have to back out and call this first attempt a miss. Now he's got to be careful here because that stern's going to keep coming around. He needs to go back into forward gear. There you go. To make sure the stern doesn't hit the dock. But he's going to have to try and swing this one back around and go for it another time. So our girl's stepping up onto the gunnel, but slides back down and winds up falling backwards. Fortunately, she didn't actually fall. Still 1 foot up, debating on trying to climb back up there. She's trying to get the line ready, and Cap's going to miss on his first attempt. Got to watch out for the boat on that port side of him as well, as he's trying to bring it back around. So she's going to adjust her method a little bit. Maybe she took him off because she tripped on the pants. I'm not 100% sure. So Cap's going to try and swing it back around, and his crew's going to have to make a second attempt at going back onto the dock. I definitely don't recommend that one. Never put any body parts, but there you go. She moves it back. Any body parts between the boat and the dock, not a good plan. So this time, she's going to grab the tower to step up, so she's got a little extra support as she walks the gunnel to try and get it over. There you go. Goes for the jump. Has the line. Going to try and get it pulled over, but nobody's really helping her as nobody's getting another line. Nobody's getting off the boat. There we go. They toss her another line now with, what, 5, 6 people on the boat as she has to scramble to do it on her own. Not sure why nobody got off to give her a hand on this one. As they go ahead and start grabbing onto the pole, and she will get it set to the side. This is always one of those ones that confuses me a little bit as to why one person gets up and does most of the work. Typically, this one I consider it a captain issue, though. I mean, it's up to Cap to go ahead and direct people what to do. But, I mean, he's got a bunch of people on the boat. They've already dropped C because she's having to handle 2 lines. She's already dropped one of the lines again. Is they got to get it back over. But if one of the other guys would just get off the boat, assist her with the lines, it would make her life a whole lot easier. Instead of her standing up here, and there you go. Now she's just going to grab the tower and pull him over versus dealing with the 2 lines. But again, Cap could definitely just direct somebody to say, hey man, why don't you just step up there, grab a line from her, and give her a hand. But instead, we'll just let her do all the work. So our next crew's kind of drifting with the current a little bit as there's a boat in front of them. And Cap looks like he's going to make his move first here and cut across their bow and try and get onto the dock, and then he'll let them go around him. So goes ahead and makes the turn in toward the dock. And as you can see from the wind and current, it was kind of pushing them that way anyway, so that should help them bring this one in. So he's got his buddy up in the bow, line on the ready. And they're going to push off a little bit. He brake checks it out. His buddy's going to use the knee crawl-up method. And, I mean, they've only got the bow line. Need to get a second line off so we can get the stern over. And here you go. The stern's kicking out on him. So, grabs the line. Going to wrap it around the pole, but still the stern's going backwards. and they're going the opposite way of the dock. So Cap turns the motor back to a neutral position. And he's going to try and walk it forward to see if the stern will kick around. As he'll get a little assist from... Oh, there you go. Now Cap, it looks like he might have had it in reverse and is going to bring it back around. So here comes our next crew on approach, and they got past us before I could get the camera over here. I noticed it last second as they were passing by that their ladder's down. Not the rear one, but the front one. So it's like bent all to crap because obviously they were running with it down. My guess they left the sandbar and forgot it was down. But you'll see here in a minute as they come around, we should be able to see it as they approach the dock, that it's just dragging in the water. But I'm curious if that affects anything as he goes in and tries to dock this boat. So right there you can see it up in the front of the bow, just dragging in the water. Now he does have a fender out, so I mean, slight protection as he tries to come in. Leaves the helm though. On, oh, and they smack. So he's gonna brake check it up to try and get that stern to come back around. Leaving the helm again, but I'm pretty sure he's in reverse. I mean, he could be in neutral, but it's definitely going backwards on him. Is the bow gonna smack again? No, he's just gonna miss. Of course, that would have been interesting if the bow smacked with the ladder down up front. So, gonna back out. I'm assuming he was trying to maybe get some lines on the ready or something. I'm not 100% sure. Now he's going to work these throttles to try and get it back around. Now, it is a solo dock, which is a little more difficult than when you have somebody who can give you a hand, but I mean, it's still all just about having as much ready as you can, especially like when you're out there in open water. When plenty of room's around you, go into neutral out there, get the lines on the ready before you come into tight quarters down here at the ramp. The last place you want to be by yourself messing with getting lines and fenders and things on the ready is in tight quarters when I could do it out in open space in the bay here where I don't have to worry about too much. So now the problem is he used his initial good line. So that first track when you're coming in, typically your best. And it's kind of been wasted because he had to stop and do other things. So trying to get her back over, but having a time doing so. So there we go, gets her back along the line. And he's gonna step forward and go for the dock grab. And in this one, it looks like he even killed the motors, which is probably a good thing, before he left the boat. So at least he knew no matter what, it wasn't going too far on him. And he's going to get it up here and have to try and pull it up alongside as he's fighting the wind and current that's trying to pull it back around the dock. Again, solo launch, different beast. Looks okay, but that ladder, man, it was just funny. I wonder how fast he was going with that thing down dragging in the water. So we got a ski coming in. So I'm curious about this one. Let me know in the comments because I don't believe I know the correct answer. This ski has 4 people on it. It is rated for 3. Now, I know they're well within the weight specs because it is 3 younger people that don't weigh much. But is this illegal? I'm not 100% sure, and the laws may vary by state. I don't know. But you would just imagine that if the ski's only rated for 3, that it would probably be illegal by Coast Guard standards to have more than 3 people on it. It doesn't matter the weight. But maybe I'm wrong, and let me know in the comments. I'm not 100% sure, but down here at 79th, this is what we see a lot. And it's not uncommon for me to see 3 or 4 adults. And even at 3 adults, we start seeing these things get unstable. But once again, we see more than 3 people on these things all the time down here, and I'm always curious if that's actually legal or not. So our crew's coming in on approach and heading into the dock, but I'm confused because there's somebody on the ramp. So, I mean, as long as they stay far enough back, it might not matter so much. But our guy here, he was putting the drain plug in, and I'll say this much too, so this goes a little bit of both ways. You should always be ready by the time you go on the ramp, because if they would have been ready, they'd already be backing down, and our guy would be back here, maybe not even going to 2. But I can tell by the guy walking down the dock, he's kind of like, what are they doing as we're trying to launch here? So our crew's going to try and get on 2. As they've got the lines on the ready now. And Cap's trying to get it over onto the dock. So having a little bit of a tough time trying to get her over. But there we go. Going bow first now. And he should be good right there. So he's got it in neutral. I don't know why. There we go. Kills the motors, but I don't know why our guy hasn't stepped off at the beginning. And there we go. They have it on. But here's our crew now. Like, bro, what are you doing? Back it up. So they're going to have to move this one back as the crew's going to try and get this thing launched. Who's in the right here, though? I mean, I always get torn on these ones. The guy was definitely on the ramp before they started trying to approach this dock. But they weren't ready on the ramp. So it kind of is a two-way street as well. As I still always feel the same thing. If you're going to go start backing down the ramp at the boat dock, be ready to go. Nothing like that's my biggest pet peeve at the boat dock actually is when you stop. So for example, you're coming in to launch your boat. There's a prep area, typically an area designated for you to prep your vessel. You stop in said prep area to start getting your boat ready. Somebody passes you in that prep area and goes and launches that's not ready. And then by the time I'm ready to go down there, they're still loading crap onto the boat when they skipped me in line and weren't ready to go. And our guy over here is drifting off. They got to be careful. He's drifting toward the other boat over here now as well. There we go. I'm like, I don't even think he's got his motors on. He's got them on now. And is able to push it forward. And our guys are walking this one back on too, but I don't know if there's enough room still for the other boat to launch up there. Hopefully there is. And this guy, looks like he's got it under control now as the motor started, and we'll be able to go ahead and try and back out on this one. Lots of arguing going on here. I can't tell exactly what's being said. I think one of the boats skipped in front of another boat. Now they're kind of all fighting over position, I believe. And they're all kind of pointing at different docks. I have no clue, though, 100% what's going on, because even the jet ski is going to slide by. But they have assigned docks down here. So the jet ski, for example, really isn't supposed to use the docks that the boats are using. And then the other boat over here is going to slide right past them all as they're fighting over there as well. But it has gotten busy down here at 79th Street, which is not uncommon. It is a busy ramp. But even right here, more bickering going on as everybody's kind of in everybody's way. But it's just interesting because this guy just kind of slid past everybody. And so here goes one of the other vessels that was down there. I don't know. I wonder why he's going to 1. It's an interesting spot to go to. Leaves the helm and is heading up front for the grab, but there's not really enough room there for him. He's trying to hold on, but look at how close these boats are getting back here. Once again, everybody is all over the place on this one. As they're all trying to jockey for a spot over here on the docks. So he's got his on, and I guess there was enough room. He's hanging off a little bit, but not too bad. That other boat looked pretty far back on the dock, so I wasn't 100% sure whether he was really going to have enough space to get this one on, but he is able to get it over there. And again, here comes this boat back into the action to try and get over here. So making their turn, I guess they're going to try and come in on 4 maybe? They want to go to the other dock. He's going to have to slip in front of that boat. But kind of just checking it out. Again, just a little bit of a madhouse down here in the afternoon. As everybody's trying to get ready on this one. Let me know in the comments. I mean, is your boat ramp ever this crazy, look like this, where everybody's just kind of fighting and waiting? And then so many people are just sitting here on the docks not doing anything. And that's not uncommon down here as well. As many of them, they're waiting for trucks to come back, but a lot of them actually are waiting for other people to show up. And our crew here is getting towed in. Not another uncommon sight down here at 79th. I see more people being towed in by other boats than I ever see being towed in by like CISO or Towboat or one of the tow companies. We see a lot of that too, but this one is the most common scene. And surprisingly down here, it doesn't typically end that bad. I mean, I could probably only count on my hand, one hand, the amount of times in the years we've been down here at 79th where I've seen things really go wrong in this situation. Oh, whoa, we got a boat coming in close here, trying to say hi to the camera. All right, well, they're into the trees, aware of the camera now. Let's see how they do. So they're heading toward the dock. Got a guy standing in the bow. Hopefully he's hanging on, or Captain doesn't have a happy throttle hand. As they make their approach. So Cap comes in. The stern's going to kick out on him. He's trying to push the bow over. And his buddy steps off up front. But that stern's kicking out, and there's no line on the stern right now. They've all got to go for the stretch. It looks like Cap left the helm and is hanging on by his fingertips as everybody's coming over now to try and get him pulled over. They're trying to get the other line up, miss on the first attempt. And they're just hanging on by fingertips, and there we go. As their buddy winds up getting that line. And they will get this one pulled over. So, line on the ready. These ones are always interesting because that bow up front obviously is just fiberglass, so it's always kind of slippery and can create some interesting situations as they approach the dock as you're trying to hang on and get this thing on. So Cap's going to go ahead and make his approach. It looks like, I think she's got 2 lines in her hand. So she's going to try, I can't tell if she's got a front and a mid, or maybe even a stern. But 2 lines is interesting. You've got to make sure that you've got enough slack on those lines that you don't pull yourself back as you go for the step off, if that's the case. And yeah, she's got 2 lines. But also you lose a hand to grab onto stuff with if you're holding 2 lines. So Cap's going to take his time bringing this one back around and getting it set up in the right direction. But the good news is this is the way I want to see it. And I always tell my camera guys this. If you see them like this, engines in a neutral position on a twin engine boat, Cap probably has it. He probably knows what he's doing. It's when I start seeing twin engine boats spin those wheels is where I'm like, okay, this could get interesting. So coming in, she walks it up, gives herself a little slack like we just mentioned. And she's gonna jump it off as Cap's going to bring it over, gives the quick push off. But this crew is going to be good to go. And speaking of good to go, we're going to go ahead and get out of here as well. Thanks for watching, crew. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Miami Boat Ramps. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, do some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we got Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at Haulover Inlet. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.